Okay, my update on my ashwagandha. I had a lot more sprout than I thought I would. And there's a few I put in here. I'm going to see which one does better because they're so small. Sometimes they want to have a smaller pot. Some plants do better as you upgrade them as they get bigger. Some can just take to where you put them and let them grow. This is way too many. I have a 15-gallon mesh fabric box here, and you're really only supposed to have like one per gallon. I mean, one per 5 gallons. So really, there should be three plants in here. So as they get bigger, I will transplant some of them. I just don't have the dirt at the moment. Like, I have buckets, but I don't have the dirt. Thankfully, I picked up 2 bags of dirt today at the store. They're starting to come out with some of the dirt. It was just potting mix, but I was able to add it and get them out of there because they were in this small cell, what do you call this, like, box, and they needed to get out of there to grow. So I had to do something, hopefully, and you know, they probably all won't survive. Hopefully they will. That'd be great, and I'll have, like, I don't know, a lot of ashwagandha plants. A little bit about ashwagandha and the reason that I'm growing it. So these will develop a strong root system, hopefully, if they last. A lot of my plants in here don't last when I transplant them out of the small containers and into the big ones. So that's why I kind of did some in here. We're going to see which ones go better, and that is just a potting mix in there. This one has layers of different things in it from when I put my peanuts in here, which those did not survive, unfortunately. So we'll have to retry that another day. But anyways, ashwagandha has a very strong root system, and the root is what is most commonly used, but as well as the plant itself, I believe it's the flowers. And what they are used for is mental health. So I struggle a lot with anxiety and a little bit with depression, and I have panic attacks quite often. Very high cortisol in my brain. Okay, so cortisol is what your brain creates and kind of makes it a little hyperactive. So when your brain's creating cortisol, you are overthinking sometimes when it's overproducing, okay? And so that can also lead to panic attacks, having just a really hyperactive mind where you're having racing thoughts. We can also lead to panic attacks. So, you know, all these things go hand in hand, okay? So ashwagandha can calm your mind by reducing the cortisol that it's producing. So basically it's a stress relief in a way. Now, you will see on some of my platforms, I did just post that I am taking the gummy vitamins of ashwagandha that I just started today. And that is my temporary until I can hopefully grow my own and create my own ashwagandha. Hopefully I can make them into a gummy. If not, I can just take it as a tea or whatever. For me, I'm not a tea drinker. So if I can create into a gummy that is good tasting, then I will do that. Same with my elderberry. That's, you know, some plans that I have. So it's mostly like the root, but also from what I am learning, the plant in itself, the leaves that it produces also helps. But the main part of the plant that helps with your cortisol is the root. So I'm learning still, but that is the reason that I am planting ashwagandha. I planted these seeds. I actually wrote the date on that, and it was back at the end of December, and it is early January, so they sprouted really fast, and I was not ready for that. And especially as many that sprouted, I always oversow my seeds because not all of them take. Not all of them become a plant. So I always do that, and I guess this time my ashwagandha really loved these growing conditions, and I don't even know how many plants there are in here. You can see just, they're all over the place, all the little green squigglies and the green leaves. So they say to wait until there's a couple leaves on the growing plant before you can transplant them. So now that most of them have some leaves, I went ahead and transplanted them so they could grow. I don't want to lose them because they don't have the space to grow. So that's why I just went ahead and did it, and then later on I can kind of pick out some more of them, and I will leave some in this pot, probably 3 or 4 plants, and the rest will go into other plants, other pots. I can plan for that. I just did not plan for this much growth all at once and so quickly. So obviously I've never grown ashwagandha before. I'm learning. So that is a note to all of you people who want to grow your own. This is a greenhouse setting, and what I used was just some starting potting mix in these containers. There's a bottom there. I did a video on these where the bottom does hold any kind of water, and it does keep them kind of moist in there without over waterlogging them. And this, I've only watered these like once after I started them, and they stay really moist in there because you have that bottom that just kind of feeds the extra water back in. And then this top goes on there, and then the vent, I kind of open and close it based on if I see some moisture in there, I'll open it more. If not, I'll go ahead and close it, because these are more plants that like the humidity. So ashwagandha did really well, you can see. And this plug-in here, when it is plugged in, I just unplugged it, it is a grow light built in. So these are really neat, and that is all I did, really. I just got my seeds online and planted them, and that's that. So are they going to take off? We don't know. Oops, sorry. Hopefully that wasn't too fast of a movement. So hopefully they will take. I get really excited and overzealous and kind of repot them too early sometimes. But based on my research, I really need to move them because they can't grow anymore in those small spaces, and they do have leaves. So of course, like I said, some of them will die off. They always do. Not all survive a transplant. And then once they're really strong and have an actual root system, I'll show you what they look like now. I'll just kind of pick one out of there very gently. So they're starting to form. There's their root system. They all kind of look like that little tail looking thing there with their leaves. And so that's what they're looking like right now. And I just kind of poked a hole in. Well, now I'm doing it one-handed, so poked it down in there so that their roots can go down in there, and they just kind of. And then there is a grow light up above them, and it's quite a bit a ways up there because I don't want to burn the leaves. And the best thing to remember, even with using grow lights, is when you water them, try not to. Now this is going to be almost impossible with these, but try not to water them. 1, do not get the leaves wet if possible, and 2, if you can do it without the grow light above it on. So mine are on timers, and so when it shuts off, that's the best time to water it because it will burn the leaves. So that's a problem, and it's hard to do because you can't really see out here in a greenhouse. It's not like, oh, it's getting dark out, let's go out and water, like you can outside. You have to have a light on in here to see. But what I do is I have a main light up there that stays off. And I only turn it on when I'm out here doing stuff with when the lights are all off. So that's kind of like my light in here. But that is my update on ashwagandha. That's the reason for my personal reason for growing ashwagandha. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know any other way to pronounce it. So let's cross our fingers and hope that this grows, because if I can grow my own, I can kind of use the strength that I want to use. I feel like I might need a stronger root a stronger plant, like the nutrients from it, than like what the gummies in the store will provide for me, because they are adding other things to it, which takes away from the strength of the gummy, but also, I mean, not super, but also, there's not, for ashwagandha, as far as I have seen, I could totally be wrong, but as far as I have seen, they don't have different like strengths of it yet. It's kind of like, okay, here's ashwagandha, this is what you get from the store. So this you can kind of, and I haven't really fully done research to know how much I can take of this as a plant, because like I said, anything you grow is going to be stronger than what you buy in the store, right? So you're growing it, you're harvesting it fresh, and that's going to always be stronger when it's fresh, right? So I have yet to learn about that, but that is the reason I'm growing it. I'm hoping these will last, and that's the reason why I did the 2 different versions. That's why I did a few plants in here, and of course those will not stay in there. They're just a little bit bigger of a plant. I need to pick my dill back there. That's usually where I grow my herbs, but oh, my calendula needs to be repotted as well. I did not even wrote that. I know I'm not saying that right. I know it's called, I don't pronounce calendula right, but that's how I pronounce it. Anyways, I digress. So this is one of nature's best cortisol decreasers you can get, from my research. Of course, I'm not a doctor. Of course, I'm not in the medical field at all. So this is not medical advice. This is not me telling you, if you have these problems, use this. This is just showing a video of a natural remedy that maybe you can try if you're having these issues. I used to take anxiety medication, for anxiety and depression actually. And I was on trial for months to find out the only one that worked for me was Lexapro. Or the knockoff version of it, escitalopram, or however you say that, Lexapro base. And after about 2 years, it stopped working. I took myself off of it, and then a couple years later, I ended up going back on it, but only for temporary. I weaned myself off because I just don't want to take medicine anymore. That is prescribed, and that's personal. But this is something that can replace some of those things potentially for you. Again, I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you what you need medically. So I just thought I would give some information on something maybe you can try. And again, you can get this. Ashwagandha comes in different varieties in the store. I just started taking the gummies. Ashwagandha does take a couple months to build up in your system to get it to work. It can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to even like build up in your system, and it also may not start even in that month period. It could take several months for it to really actually start you feel that like where it would work. So keep that in mind. But that's like any drug that you take, really. It took a while for me to get it built up, and that's why it takes so long for them to trial you on medication, because it takes that while for it to build in your system to work. And then if that one's not working after like 3 or 4 months, they'll try a different one, or they'll try multiples. With me, they tried something like that. No, Buzzpar, sorry. Bupropion didn't work for me. They tried Buzzpar with it, and it did nothing. So, it's just, this may not work for me. I don't know. But, if I can grow it and I can try it, why wouldn't I? I'm curious if any of you ever tried ashwagandha. If you have, let me know. Like, does it work for you? If you've taken it after a couple months, does it work for you? I actually have an employee of mine who takes the exact gummies I started taking today, and that's the whole reason I picked them up from the store, was we were talking, and she's like, oh, ashwagandha is my lifesaver, and I'm like, I literally am growing that. And so she's excited if it can work and I can get it to grow. I'll be helping her out. I love my employees, and so this is something I can share with them too. I mean, the world is stressful. Everybody has stress, and so if you can pop a gummy in your mouth every day, or drink a tea every day, and help you calm your mind, why not? So I am still learning. I know the gummies, we have to take 4 a day, so it's 2 at a time, twice a day, and then up to 2 to 4 weeks for it potentially to build in your system, and even potentially longer for it to start kicking in. So I feel like that's a lot, and so that's another reason I would like to grow my own, is to control that and say, okay, like, can I just get it into 1 dose twice a day instead of 2 gummies? Like, can I take 1 gummy and have it stronger, or just drink a cup of tea, and because this is stronger, and cut out all that other stuff that they're putting in there. To make a gummy, you would have to add a couple things. Like those actually use a cane sugar to sweeten, so that's actually good compared to other things to sweeten they could have used. However, I can add honey that's natural to sweeten mine. I can add my pure maple syrup. We're getting ready to do maple syrup in February. I'm not sure how that would taste with ashwagandha. I've never had just ashwagandha. I don't know what this plant tastes like. I haven't dove that far into the taste of it yet. Has anybody ever tried ashwagandha plant? Have you had it in a tea? If you have, let me know. Hey, it works good with this. Hey, if I can get it to grow, this is what I should pair with it. I would love for some insight if anybody has any. And as I go and as I grow and as I try new things and experiment, I will oh, there goes one of my lights. They're starting to shut off for the night. I will definitely post that and share that with you guys and say, okay, like, this is my experience. So hopefully we'll get to that point. If not, I mean, I can always get more seeds and try again. I'm learning from what's working in my greenhouse and what's not. It's all a learning process. So I hope somebody can find this information helpful. I know I talk a lot. I know it's a lot of information about, just to get to the point of, this is for my mental health personally. And so even if you can't grow ashwagandha, or you don't have the room to grow ashwagandha, there's some information I just shared with you that maybe you can get some from a store, and maybe that will help you, and maybe the medicine's not working for you, or you don't want to take medicine, or whatever the case may be. You want something a little more natural. All of those are reasons people are starting to go natural. Elderberry, ashwagandha, the different kinds of herbs. So you've got lemon balm, bee balm, the Italian basil, all the way to rosemary. All of those herbs help your body with different things. All of those plants that I just mentioned. And so I'm trying to grow it all. I'm trying to learn, but we have some things growing, and so I'll be doing more videos, hopefully. We just had a super, super busy 2 weeks, and the weather turned to absolute crap. So it has been a nightmare here in Wisconsin, and so I'm shocked that a lot of my plants grew out here in the cold. My heat kept up with it, so I'm very grateful for that. And if you could, make sure you like this video. If you found it, please share it if you feel like somebody else can benefit from this information, of course, absolutely, or tag them in it. Leave a comment if you've tried ashwagandha and what you think of it. If you know anything about growing the plant, please share that information as well. I am always learning and happy to take in other people's knowledge, and so yeah, I will keep it updated if it continues to grow. I mean, usually if you don't see another video, that's probably because it died. So I'm trying my best. So now that the lights are all shutting off, I probably will go ahead and water this, but I will probably actually do it with my spray bottle, and I think because all these little leaves in here, if I do it with the big watering can I have, it will weigh them down, and that could also be too much for the tiny root system that they have going. So I'm gonna probably just mist these with my spray bottle. It's just, actually it's distilled water, so it's even better yet for the plants. And that's something I'm going to look into, is doing distilled water only for my plants, getting all those chemicals from the city out of here and distilling. So that's one of my projects that I am in the market for. So anyways, hopefully you found this video helpful in some way. Thank you so much for watching and for following along.